On the news tonight, APC conducts senatorial primary elections across country. State government begins disbursement of 2025 awards to children of deceased civil servants and students with disabilities. Nigeria strengthened disease surveillance following Ebola outbreak in DR Congo. Abroad, United States President says time running out for Iran peace. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Delta Television tonight. My name is Onome Iyarowe. A sincere apologies for taking off behind schedule. It was due to circumstances beyond our control. You can also follow our news online, Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcast Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. Now, details of the news. The All Progressives Congress, APC, conducted its senatorial primary elections across the country as the party continues preparations for the 2027 general elections. Delegates and party officials gathered at designated centers in the various states for the exercise aimed at producing candidates for the Senate seats in the 109 senatorial districts nationwide. The primaries were supervised by electoral committees appointed by the party's national leadership, while security agents were deployed to ensure peaceful conduct of the exercise, even as party leaders called on aspirants and supporters to maintain discipline and avoid actions capable of disrupting the process. Reports from different parts of the country indicated early arrival of delegates and election materials at some venues. In Delta South Senatorial District, the primary election was conducted peacefully across the various wards, with party stakeholders and delegates describing the exercise as free, fair, and credible. Our reporter Henry Usiayo, who observed the process in some parts of Isoko, reports.
Party members turned up early for the primary election, which was done through option A4. Wards visited included Ole Ward 1, Ozora Ward 2, Emedi Ward 5, Aviara Ward 6, Warri South Ward 1, and Owelugbo. At Emedi Ward 5, the incumbent senator representing Delta South Senatorial District, Senator Joel Thomas, participated in the exercise as he was joined by party loyalists and delegates who conducted themselves peacefully throughout the process. Security operatives were deployed across the area to maintain order, prevent disruptions, and guarantee a smooth voting exercise. Some party members in an interview commended the APC for organizing what they described as a transparent and well-managed primary.
The process was fairly examined, all peaceful and a conducive atmosphere. Voted their choice. I see the whole process was very free and fair. Yes, we have security both from the state and also from the community. We have the Vigilant here, and at the same time we have DSS here. And see by yourself, the USSR will
allow them to freely express their choices without intimidation. Henry expressed their choices without intimidation. Henry Usiayo reporting.
The primary in Delta Central Senatorial District kick-started at the Oteri Community Town Hall in North Local Government area. Our reporter Henry Unogwa, who monitored the process, reported that the exercise, which witnessed the arrival of party faithful, party officials and members of the electoral committee amid tight security and heightened political activities, commenced with the accredited delegates from the various local government areas in the district.
Party officials and delegates were properly in line with APC elected.
Well attended, and the voting was very peaceful. They should do things this way. They should vote for APC from a very free. That's the only way you can get the best.
were strategically positioned within and around the secretariat to maintain law and order. The general atmosphere to maintain law and order. The general atmosphere remained calm, though supporters remained calm. Though supporters of different aspirants were seen chanting solidarity song and displaying campaign materials. Though the exercise experienced slight delay before commencement,
reports. Supervision of electoral and security personnel. Ward visited included Idumujono Ward 8, Onichuku Ward 2, Onichukwani Ward 5, Ibuzo Ward 6, and Iseluku Ward 7. The electoral process remained largely peaceful, with some skirmishes which security personnel brought under control as party members queued to cast their votes. Speaking at the venue primaries in Idumujono Ward 8 and on of participation members, noting that the turnout reflected the growing interest of members in determining the parties for Delta North senatorial seats.
And this crowd is distributed all over the senatorial district. From here to Eka, to Asaba, to Abu, it is the same everywhere. If there's a point to be moving, we've shown. I mean, you've seen it yourself.
Voters expressed optimism that the outcome of the election will strengthen unity within the party and position it for victory in future electoral process, adding that they expected the emergence of a candidate who will not only unite the party but will effectively represent the interests of the senatorial district at the National Assembly.
The kind of turnout that we saw in Ward 8, I can tell you that it never happened in any part of the senatorial district. So that's why I describe it as quite unprecedented.
It's calm. We don't fight in our ward. We always do election in our ward. We don't fight. Yes, the election was free and fair. The people voted, the members voted freely.
The election was fair, it was good.
Bridget Agitu reporting. The APC senatorial primaries in Ika South and Ika Northeast local government areas was generally peaceful, with eligible voters turning out early in their various wards to exercise their franchise. Ijime Ujoime reports.
At Ward 9 and Ward 2, voters filed out in large numbers and were duly counted on the queues about 10:45 a.m. At Ward 9, Owalero, in Ika Northeast, APC senatorial aspirant Senator Ifeanyi Okowa was among the mammoth crowd of party faithful who participated in the direct primary election. Speaking shortly after being counted, Senator Okowa expressed satisfaction with the impressive turnout of voters and commended the leadership of the APC for adopting the direct primary system in the election of party flag bearers. He noted that the massive turnout was a clear indication that Delta State remains a stronghold of the APC and urged party supporters to sustain their commitment ahead of the main election. Senator Okowa also pledged to be a strong voice for the people of Delta North in the National Assembly if elected as the party's candidate and subsequently wins the general election.
I pray that God will continue to energize me to do the best I can do for this very ward, for this village, and not only for this village, for the whole of Ika Northeast and the whole of Delta North. Because I'm very much aware that as people have trooped out here in my village or Ward 2 to cast their votes in this primary, that is the same way they are trooping out across the 98 wards that we have in Delta North Senatorial District.
At Ward 2, Utokpo, party stalwarts, including Dr. Hilary Obioma Ibegbulem and Dr. Festus Okubo, described the exercise as peaceful, free, fair, and a family affair. They urged party members and voters to remain calm, peaceful, and law-abiding throughout the electoral process.
Very peaceful election and very transparent primaries, and I want to believe that the will of the people will be shown today at the end of the exercise. You can see how we mobilized, and it also shows that Delta North, especially Ward 9, Eka Northeast, is fully for APC.
Overwhelmingly, everybody's voting for Senator Dr. Arthur Ifeanyi, and the reports I get tells me that the same thing is going on in virtually all the wards of the senatorial districts. So it's clearly a landslide.
In all the centers visited, returning officers were responsible. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, also monitored the exercise. Ejime Uduime reporting.
The APC senatorial primary election in Ward 5 on Ichukwani, Ndukwa West local government area, hometown of the state deputy governor Sir Monday Onyeme, was conducted peacefully. Here Botu reports.
The senatorial primary election, which took place at the Nkwo Market Square amid heavy turnout of party members and the presence of security agencies and officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The APC returning officer for Ward 5, Onichukwani, Mr. Famous Istisheli, said only card-carrying members of the party were allowed to participate in the exercise, adding that the option A4 voting system was adopted for the primary election. Agents of Senator Ifeanyi Okowa and Senator Ned Nwoko displayed placards bearing the names of their aspirants as party members queued openly behind the candidate of their choice for head count. At the end of the exercise, the returning officer announced that Senator Ifeanyi Okowa polled 2,150 votes, while Senator Ned Nwoko secured 97 votes in the Ward 5 senatorial primary election.
At the end of the exercise, that is at the end of the voting exercise, Prince Ned Nwoko got a total vote of 97. While Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa got 2,150 votes.
Speaking after the exercise, the state deputy governor, Sir Monday Onyeme, described the primary as peaceful and rancor-free, noting that politics would further strengthen the bond among the people of Onichukwani and attract more development to the area.
It was conducted in a very family atmosphere. Everybody is smiling with every other person. There was no rancor. Both the supporters of President Nwoko and the supporters of Senator Ifeanyi Okowa were all friendly with themselves because we know that we are one. But at the end of the day, the verdict is very, very clear. Okowa won by a very large margin. To God be the glory.
At the Ndukwa West Collation Center, Utagbono Community Town Hall, the returning officer, Mr. Victor Bologen, announced Senator Ifeanyi Okowa as the winner in Ndukwa West, having polled 15,199 votes, while Senator Ned Nwoko polled 513 votes.
The final votes cast for Senator Dr. Okowa is 15,199. Votes for Senator Ned Nwoko 513. 513.
I am Pere Botu reporting.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC National Assembly Primary Election Committee has announced the results of the Senate primary for Delta North Senatorial District. The committee, chaired by Honorable Eugene Odo, collated results submitted by returning officers across the various local government areas in the district, coordinated by the Collation Officer for Delta North and Commissioner for Higher Education, Professor Nyero Tonukari. Esther Oputa was at the Collation Center at the APC Secretariat in Asaba.
Oshimili South, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa polled 11,616 votes, Senator Ned Nwoko 75 votes, and Dr. Miriam Ali 25 votes. While in Oshimili North, Senator Okowa secured 13,110 votes, while Senator Nwoko polled 287 votes. In Anyosha South, Senator Okowa garnered 10,353 votes against Senator Nwoko's 168 votes, while in Anyosha North, he scored 5,480 votes to Nwoko's 1,343 votes. In Ukwani, Senator Okowa polled 12,167 votes against Nwoko's 105 votes, while in Undukwa East, he scored 9,436 votes, with Senator Nwoko polling 79 votes and Dr. Ali securing 15 votes. In Undukwa West, Senator Okowa recorded 15,199 votes against 513 votes for Nwoko. In Ika South, he polled 9,763 votes to Senator Nwoko's 19 votes, and in Ika Northeast, he secured 26,185 votes against 24 votes for Senator Nwoko. Announcing the final tally, the Primary Election Committee Chairman, Honorable Eugene Odo, declared Senator Ifeanyi Okowa winner with 113,309 votes, followed by Senator Ned Nwoko with 2,612 votes, and Dr. Miriam Ali scoring 40 votes.
Having scored the highest number of votes in the Delta North Senatorial District of APC Senatorial Primaries of Delta North, is hereby declared the winner of this election.
Esther Oputa reporting.
The federal government has announced that the theme for the 2026 National Children's Day celebration is Future Now, promoting inclusion of every Nigerian child. Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Ms. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, who announced this in Abuja, said the theme reflected government's commitment to ensuring that no Nigerian child was left behind, regardless of background, disability, or social status. Ms. Suleiman Ibrahim noted that children made up of over 40% of Nigeria's population, stressing that child protection and development remained vital to national progress, adding that strengthening families would help provide a supportive environment for children to thrive. UNICEF Nigeria Acting Chief of Child Protection, Ms. Mona Aika, called on government to use Children's Day as a moment of accountability by taking stronger actions to protect children and promote the vices of adolescent girls. UNICEF also reaffirmed its support for efforts aimed at strengthening child protection systems and ending harmful practices against children. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has condemned the abduction of pupils, teachers, and school officials during attacks on schools in Orire local government area of Oyo State, describing the incident as a national disgrace and a sign of worsening insecurity. CAN also mourned the reported killing of an assistant headmaster during the attack. The association, in a statement signed by its president, Archbishop Daniel Oko, said it was unacceptable that children could no longer learn safely in classrooms. It called on the federal government, security agencies, and the Oyo State government to urgently rescue the abducted victims and bring the perpetrators to book. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has intensified surveillance following a fresh Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, where about 80 persons were reported dead. Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, who disclosed this, said Nigeria was closely monitoring the situation and working with support health services to strengthen preparedness. Dr. Idris advised citizens to maintain proper hygiene, avoid contact with sick persons, and report unusual illness or illnesses promptly. The World Health Organization, WHO, described the outbreak as extraordinary because there were no approved vaccines or treatments for the strain involved. Nigeria gained international recognition in 2014 for successfully containing an Ebola outbreak after an infected traveler arrived Lagos from Liberia, leading to stronger disease surveillance and emergency response systems in the country. The state government has commenced disbursement of the 2025 scholarship awards to children of deceased civil servants and students living with disabilities across the state. The Delta State Bursary and Scholarship Board, in a statement signed by its Executive Secretary, Dr. Godfrey Enita, said the exercise followed the approval of Governor Sheriff Oborewori and would run from tomorrow, May 19, through Friday, May 29. The board advised beneficiaries seeking clarification to contact Patricia Ole on 081-1181-29 or 2898 for inquiries relating to children of deceased civil servants, while inquiries concerning students with disabilities are to be directed to Chinedu Uwabofu on 0806-477-5373. The statement said the scholarship scheme was aimed at supporting beneficiaries in their academic pursuits as part of the state government's commitment to inclusive education and social welfare, while urging all beneficiaries to access their payments within the stipulated period. Christians have been encouraged to remain steadfast in faith despite the economic hardship, insecurity, and other challenges confronting the nation. Brother Stephen Enwochola of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal gave the exhortation in his message at the DBS Asaba weekly prayer meeting. Violet Monye has details.
Speaking on the topic, is it because there is no God in Israel? Drawn from 2 Kings chapter 1 verse 3, Brother Enwochola said many Nigerians were questioning whether God still answered prayers and whether Christianity was still effective because of the present difficulties facing believers and the country at large. He added that God still ruled in the affairs of men and remained faithful to his children, urging believers to trust in God rather than rely on human strength or worldly practices. The speaker charged all to follow God wholeheartedly through consistent prayer, evangelism, and service to God, giving assurance that those who stayed in his presence would receive deliverance, restoration, sustenance, and salvation.
Hold on to God, stay put. It doesn't matter how you're feeling it. It doesn't matter what you're seeing. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Better stay put. Hold on God. Hold on to God. But it has never been heard that they just are forsaken.
The prayer meeting featured intercession for the progress, protection, and success of the management and staff of the station and the state at large. Violet Monye reporting.
You're watching the Delta Television main news. Still to come, United States President says time running out for Iran peace. Details of this and other stories after this break. Stay tuned.
Hooray! Another May 27 is here, a day set aside to celebrate children. Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, is set for a wonderful time out for children this season. Oh yes! It is the DBS Asaba Youth and Children's Day Cultural Carnival 2026. Theme, Building the Future Through Youth and Culture. The event is aimed at promoting the beautiful culture of our people and encouraging children to imbibe same. The event will feature cultural march past, art workshop training session for parents and children, painting, drawing, tie and dye, cultural dance competition, Nigerian food competition, Nigerian language knowledge competition, cultural fashion parade. There'll be lots to eat and drink and wonderful gifts to go home with. Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, is calling on schools to be part of the Cultural Carnival competition, which will attract trophy and prizes to winners of the competitions. Corporate bodies and churches can register children for this special Children's Day event. That's not all. The brochure for the event will serve as a vehicle for warm felicitations for our children, as well as platform for business owners to advertise their goods and services. For schools participation and sponsorship, please visit the marketing department or call 0803-326-6801. Mooring on 0803-778-1910. Date, Wednesday, 27th May 2026. Venue, DBS Event Place, Opanam Road, Asaba. Time, 9 a.m. DBS Asaba Youth and Children's Day Cultural Carnival 2026. Let's meet there.
The host community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances. No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility.
Welcome back to Delta Television Main News. Now straight on to the foreign scene. The United States President Donald Trump has warned Iran that time is running out for negotiations aimed at ending the ongoing conflict. President Trump, in a message posted on his Truth Social platform, urged Iran to move quickly or risk severe consequences. The warning followed talks between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday. Iran, however, says it has responded to the latest United States proposal, while discussions continuing through mediators. Iran officials insist their concerns have been communicated. The Transmission Company of Nigeria 2022 and 2025 sensitization program in Nitori, Ogun State, raising cases to about 40 this year. TCN said community support remains vital, affecting critical national infrastructure. In sports, Nigeria's Silver Falcons will face Senegal in back-to-back international friendlies at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State on the 5th and 8th of June. The double-header replaces a cancelled fixture against the Reggae Girls of Jamaica and will be the first confirmed program of the defending champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFC ahead of the next tournament in Morocco in July. Senegal will make the trip to Ikenne in the first week of June, and the Teranga Lionesses are in WAFCON Group A alongside Morocco, Algeria and Kenya, making them a direct opponent Nigeria could encounter in the kick-out or the knockout stages if both nations advance from their individual groups. And that's our bulletin for tonight. Just before we go, here is the thought for the day. Success is not only always about greatness, it is about consistency. To end Delta Television main news, a look at the major stories we brought you. The All Progressives Congress, APC, today conducted the senatorial primary elections across the country as the party continues preparations for the 2027 general elections. The state government has commenced the disbursement of the 25 scholarship awards to children of deceased civil servants and students living with disabilities across the state. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has intensified surveillance following a fresh Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of DRC, where about 80 persons were reported dead. And from the foreign scene, we reported that the United States President Donald Trump has warned Iran that time is running out for negotiations aimed at ending the ongoing conflict. So much for Delta Television News. On behalf of the news editor and the production team, this is Onome Iyarowe, thanking you for watching. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba. Or visit